Spring has well and truly sprung. We've got loads of these plants springing up. Lots and lots of raspberry, which is awesome. I really do need to move a bunch of it because raspberry is thorny. So take it to the edging rather than here. But yeah, lots of green all of a sudden. And then we're getting the beginnings of some of the seeds I've sown, which is also great. So midweek next week the fruit trees arrive. So one of the things I've got to do this weekend is get some of the holes dug down there for the orchard, but also picked up mulch to help them build up what they're growing to. Some twine. So I'm not going to do it now because I've got the builder coming to do a couple of bits, but then I can connect up some of the fence posts and see how that's going to look, and then I've got enough for the final piece of the grow box. So then I'll have 3 grow boxes, and I've got the seeds to plant today as well, so then I should have a good state. Well, it's taken some fiddling and almost a month of faffing around, but I finally have the generator working, showing the pump is in good state. It's working hard to keep things going, and I need to tighten up that on the leash, but it's piling out water. Looks super clean. Obviously looks don't really mean anything, but I think we're in a good state. Merlin is not super impressed with the generator. He is keeping his distance, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. We should have enough bits and pieces to get these 2 fully loaded and planted, and then that one ready for the 3 sisters in about 3 or 4 weeks, which is awesome. I worry a little about these trees. I'm not sure I'm in a position where I can replant them, but I'd kind of like to move at least a couple of them if I could. But they are quite big, so we'll have to see. And we've got our 2 grow boxes stocked up. So we've got 5 vegetables in here, double carrots, rocket, lettuce, parsnips and spinach. And 4 in here at the moment because I couldn't find garlic. We've got lettuce, onions, broccoli and leeks. So there's space in the middle so we can get some garlic from somewhere. And then piled up well with sticks. Just need to put the second level on, bring down the remaining items from there, have some lunch, and then maybe start looking at some of the other bits and pieces. Yeah, and then we've got a really visible drop in water line here, which is good, I guess. You can also see a lot of insects skimming along the pond. We've got a lot of debris catching up on there, but I guess that's not really a problem. It will sink, so I do need to prioritise soon getting some water lining plants to really build this up. And then I've got a willow tree on order which will arrive next week, and the plan is for that to go kind of here, which will hopefully help deal with some of this real waterlogging problem. Even now, even though the water is massively dropping, we're seeing quite a bit of stuff going down. Nothing majorly growing here. Oh no, we can see some bits and pieces from what I've sown. But what I do have, and I'm about to put down here, is some lavender. So I'm going to put some lavender around one of these edges, because that's supposed to be quite good at repelling mosquitoes. Although that might be folklore. We'll see. A lion in the high grass. And the third grow box, not quite done. So I'll need to pick up one more thing of soil on the way home and a couple of bits of bark to replace what I've used up so that I'm ready for Tuesday. But they're looking pretty decent, I think. Pretty decent. We'll see where we go. Oh, as you can hear, that was hard work. So I've got a bunch of the raspberry plants up and dug out one of the larger trees. So I've chucked that over there for the time being. We'll plant that somewhere along there to start building up the shade. I decided, given the size of those two, I will probably leave them. I can always chop them at the base if they get problematic. Same with this one. I think it might actually be quite good. It's far enough from the grow boxes for the time being, and it will start giving shade to them a bit later on, which might be good. So we've got the outline holes. They may need to be expanded once I know exactly how big the things are, but there's 6 running reasonably close to the road along that side, and then 6 running not too far from the drainage channel there, starting from the beginning. I've kept a good distance from the road because I don't know how much wider the access road is going to end up when it's paved. It doesn't need to be a chunk wider, and that's probably also near the road, a reasonable place for the temporary septic storage, depending on how things go. But then I've got 2 more sticks to put in where the willow trees will be. So I'm going to do the willow trees, and then it's definitely time for a break and a cool down for me, and particularly for him, because it's pretty hot out and he is warm. So the builder's calling around Tuesday, so I'm going to be here when he arrives. He's going to sort out the driveway, and he's going to take away the barbed wire and do the temporary solution for septic. So that's all looking good. Back on a Tuesday. Not a bad little drive up actually. I was expecting more traffic. Very windy, which the van is not great for, I'm discovering. But we've got a temporary septic solution, which very cool, has a auto breather on there so nothing's going to build up, which is excellent. And then he's already delivered the extractor, so that's ready to go. And then there's a pipe back there for the wider thing, so he is going to be busy tomorrow. Don't know what time he's going to turn up. Not too early, I hope. But a little concerningly, a bit of broken glass. So there's still a few bits I think he's left to do, and the guy with the asphalt has to come along later, but we've got a wider, longer, flatter area there. And then hidden away in that mound, we've got the septic tank. So it's somewhat buried, but not completely, but a bit more accessible, and a little bit not so visual. So you can probably put some small plants on the side to tidy it out. So that's all looking good. And very excitingly, all the barbed wire's gone. So the pond is way nicer. It's looking really good. Nice, way easier for me to reverse in. Hopefully they're happy with the width. But we've definitely got the size there, and then enough to go and tarmac it 2 meters back, so it should all be good. So that's great. And then I've actually spent 10 minutes on my lunch break moving a couple of the holes, so when the trees arrive, which in theory is in the next 13 minutes, in practice we'll see, they can go in pretty easily. I think the builder's headed off for his lunch, but when he comes back we can just finalise anything that he's finalising. If I could train this dog to dig the holes I need where I need them, that would be really useful, because he loves it and he's probably better at it than I am with a shovel. You digging a pit trap, buddy? You do know when you do this it means you can't go on the bed, right? It's the very nice DHL man's final delivery of the day, and here is all my trees and a couple of bushes in a very weird shaped packet. I asked him if I could keep the pallet because it's useful, even for just using to store firewood and things, keep it off the ground. So yeah, after work, get all these planted in. I'll burst the car up so I've got the bits I need, and give it a go. And the tree planting is finally done. I need to grab a bit of mulch for this one, but this willow will hopefully grow and take some of the muddiness out of here. Even the hole I dug yesterday had some water in the bottom of it, partly because there's stone right along the bottom, but either way, things fix. Then I'll just go and see the remainder. And here we go, day one of the Avalon orchard. No, he doesn't understand why I got to dig and he doesn't get to. So if I could teach him to dig in the right place, he'd be very useful. But right now he isn't. This way. Come on. So we've got apples, pears, which need unclipping. That's the other reason I come down here. Make sure all of the plants are ready for a few days without me. And then we've got 2 blueberry bushes, 2 blackberry bushes scattered along here. Some plums. The next bush. Then we've got some apricots. This I think is where the blackberries are. Sorting out. Then you've got the sweet cherries, which is an impressive one actually. Super tall. More blackberries. And then finally peach, I want to say. Yeah. Peaches. I've got more labelled down at the bottom in English and Swedish. And then mirroring, we've got the same on the roadside, but with different varieties. So I just need to get this dog back. Leave it. So then in reverse order, we've got the peaches, and we've got down at the bottom, growing hopefully strongly, the raspberries. Sweet cherries again. What, apricots? Yeah, sweet cherries. These are the apricots. Nice and wide. I'm hoping they'll do well in that little pile there. Then we've got the plums. Nice tall thing of plums. The pears, which also need unclipping. Finally, the last apple tree. But then, if we carry on over here, we've also got a lone willow in this empty space, which will hopefully help deal with some of the real damp that we see over on this side quite substantially, what we did last year. So hopefully that should grow out, tidy this whole area up a little bit. And we're approaching sunset. We've also got a nice new road looking awesome. So I need to pack up and get back to Gothenburg. So that is Orchard Day 1.